Hello, hello. I am very excited to be here on YouTube Live. This is the first time I'm doing this. I have no idea what to expect. I have no idea what's going to come up. Let's just give this a try and see how this goes. But I'm excited to talk about how I went from 2K to 25K in 5 months in my business. And when we're hearing this type of stories of other people, I know how easy it is to fall into this is never going to happen for me. This is, far away from anything that I could imagine. Other people can have it, not me. But the universe puts you in front of these types of situations. It wants you to see those things, not to make you feel like you can't have it, but more to make you feel like this is possible for you too. Right. So when you see another person being successful or having the things that you want to, it's just another opportunity for you. It's a reflection back to you on what is possible for you too. So whenever you're falling into, oh, I wish I could have that, but this is not me, see this more of an opportunity of like, I can have this and this is possible for me. And it's just a sign from the universe that I can have whatever I want, right? And so I want to speak a little bit more about how I got into this point. And this conversation is not about the money. This conversation is about something so much deeper. And we're at a point right now in the year, it's mid-year of 2024. We have reached the 6 month mark into the year. That also means there are 6 months left until the end of the year. Now, even though I do think time is not as important, it is also good to look and take inventory into yourself and into your goals and kind of reflect on where you are right now and where you want to be. And so when I did this a while back, I would stress myself out a lot. I would feel like I've lost so much time. I'm not where I want to be. Now I need to do even more. Let's, go even harder. And last year, I found myself in a situation where I definitely did not feel like I was where I wanted to be. Last year, at the end of 2022 and the beginning of 2023, I was in a situation in my business where I realized that I felt like I wanted to give up. I've had big goals, big dreams. I did all of the work, um, the physical work, and nothing was changing. Actually, everything was getting worse and worse. And I was in a point in my business where I wanted to give up. I wanted to let it go. I wanted to completely stop. I had to let go of people that were working with me. Just really, really a low moment during this time. And I realized I had two choices. I had the choice of giving up and letting it go, or I had the choice to look inside of myself and see what within me was creating these unwanted results that I had in my life and my business. And so oftentimes when we find ourselves in situations that we don't like, we tend to ask ourselves, what is it that I can do more of? What is it that I can work harder? I can meet more people. I can do more, which, yes, there is definitely a point to the physical stuff that we need to do. But the more important piece is understanding that you're always reflecting into the universe what you think and believe of yourself and what you think your truth is. And so I realized that the actual work I needed to do was not doing more, it was looking inwards. It was looking at what do I believe about my current reality, about myself, that is creating these current circumstances that I don't want. And so instead of doing more on a physical level, I have decided to shift my inner world. I have decided to look at, okay, Jess, well, what are you thinking about the world right now? What are you thinking about yourself? And looking back, I was thinking things like, I don't deserve this. This is never going to happen for me. This is hard. No one cares. This is not meant for me. Blah, 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 blah. I could go on and on and on about this, right? And I realized that through these thoughts, I was creating more of the things I did not want. And I had two choices. I had the choice to continue thinking that, or to notice that I'm thinking that and to shift that. So many of us, we're living life day by day. We have so many things going on, right? We might have kids, we have a job, we have responsibilities. And throughout your life, you are constantly thinking thoughts. It's inevitable, right? You're constantly, literally, your mind is constantly thinking. Now, my question to you is, how aware are you of the thoughts that you're thinking? Do you notice the thoughts that you're thinking? And so I had to ask myself, Jess, what are you even thinking? Am I even aware of that? And the moment that I became aware of that, I started to not only become aware of that, but started to shift it into the thoughts that I wanted to think, even if initially I really wasn't believing it. Right. So I would go from thinking that I'm broke and nothing's going to happen for me and I'm not meant for this, to I'm grateful for the wealth that I'm creating. I am wealthy. I can get it. I can buy anything that I want. People want to work with me. People care. And I would go into that direction. So every time I would catch myself thinking something that I know I didn't want to create, I would go into the other direction. I would create something I wanted to think instead, so that it could create the results that I wanted to have. And so the crazy part about this work is that we think it will take forever to shift your reality. The truth is, it's not the case. A lot of us, we are living on autopilot, meaning that we're thinking a lot of thoughts, but we're not aware of those thoughts. But those thoughts keep creating our current reality that we do not like. So, what we need to do is we need to turn off the autopilot and we need to become the driver of our own reality, of our own thoughts. And so, I started doing this work in the beginning of last year. Within 5 months, my business exploded. And it wasn't because I was doing more. It was because I was doing the work that so many of us tend to ignore, right? We tend to, and it's normal. We live in a world still, where it's about grinding and working hard. And I don't want to say that's not part of it. I work hard. I do a lot, right? I make sure I do this type of work too. But if you are working hard and still thinking you don't deserve this is never going to happen, no one really cares, well, you're going to keep attracting exactly that. And so I had to every time convince myself otherwise and otherwise and otherwise. And then within just a couple of months, as I said, I got all of these results that felt like out of nowhere. And they were inexplicable up until this day, even though I'm trying to explain what I did. At the same time, I can't explain it because there was so much deeper stuff that was going on in the back end that I just couldn't explain. But it happened. It happened, and it happened in a very, very quick time frame. It's like I collapsed time. A lot of people think these types of results take time. And I do think there is a certain truth to it, of being able to hold these successes too. But at the same time, things can happen in an instant, in a second, in a split second, if you just believe it and if you shift your beliefs into what you want to create. And so I didn't grow up this way. I didn't grow up with being aware of all of those things. I didn't grow up with a lot of money. I didn't grow up with those things. I grew up quite the opposite. And I know that a lot of times why we have certain thoughts and certain beliefs about ourselves is because of our past, of how we were raised, the things that we have heard. And so it's your job to now start changing that. It's no one else's job to create the life that you want. It's your job. No one, absolutely no one can do it for you but you. That's also called taking self responsibility. And once I started taking self responsibility and started to decide that this is it and I can create the life of my dreams and I can have crazy results that are inexplicable, that's when these results started to show up. And so here, my question to you is, what is it that you want to what is it that you want to happen in the next 6 months until the end of the year? What is that for you? And what needs to shift within you to create that, to collapse the time, to make the last 6 months of this year the best you've ever had? If you want to experience this type of work that I have done last year, I would love to invite you to my free 7-day coaching experience. It's called Mid-Year Momentum, which is perfect timing. And you can sign up. I'm going to be putting this into the show notes. You can sign up there. It's going to be a great experience for you to really shift everything that is going on the inside so that you can create the reality that you want. I am so excited to see you there. Thank you so much for being here and watching this. Sending you so much love. And until the next time.